Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. I'm Cameron Songer, and I'm joined now by Director of Athletics, Dick Christie. Athletics Director Dick Christie, thanks for sitting down with us.
Cameron, appreciate you having me on.
You're in your third year as the Director of Athletics at UNC Pembroke. Can you sort of give us a State of the Union type address about your long-term goals for UNCP Athletics and the progression towards those goals so far?
Sure. It's been a real blessing coming to UNC Pembroke. Dan Kenny, my predecessor as the athletic director, kind of inherited a really good situation. A lot of teams that were already competitive. Kind of the story of Division II, we were short on resources. So really have made that a focal point these first 3 years and been very encouraged by the buy-in from the community and the buy-in from coaches and just how far we've been able to move the needle financially. We've got a long way to go, but that's been a big catalyst to some of our successes we've seen the last 3 years and some of the projects that we've been able to move forward and try and help our programs.
Some of the more notable changes in the department over the last 3 years has been the presence of sponsors, both corporate and local, that have a presence in the various venues. Talk about the growth and how important community support is to the success of an athletics department.
Well, that was a good segue, Cameron. One of the big areas that we've tried to grow in is through some of our corporate involvement and sponsorship. So we've got 24 partners right now. I think we still have a very robust portfolio. We've got a lot of room for growth there, and we need to get out in the community. We're actually hiring that position now, so that'll be critical to our success in the future and seeing just how high of a threshold we can get there. Braves Club's another key area, but for right now, sponsorship has been our biggest upside in external revenues, and we need to continue being aggressive there. I think we have a great story to tell, and we have a great product to partner with because we have a captive audience. We have a lot of dedicated fans, and if you're trying to reach this market in southeastern North Carolina, there's really not a better property to try and align yourself with than Braves Athletics, in my opinion.
We were able to sit down with Adam Harden a few weeks ago to talk about the upcoming Cash Bash on the evening of April 21st at Lumbee Guarantee Bank Court. What kind of impact does that annual event have on the overall goals of this athletic department?
Yeah, well, if I did anything right this year, I think it was hiring Adam. He's really hit the ground running and done a great job for us. Cash Bash is pacing ahead, which is always a good thing, being 3 weeks out. But that event is paramount for us. It's our primary event fundraiser for the year for the annual scholarship fund. It probably makes up about 40% of what we raise from an annual scholarship fund standpoint. So really, really crucial night for us. We want patrons to come and have a good time and get more acquainted with our student athletes and our coaches and our brand and really see why it's so critical that we grow scholarships.
You've had some success stories already this year, particularly with the men's cross-country team that won the Peach Belt Conference Championship in November. Both the cross-country team and the track and field program have shown significant progress under the leadership of Peter Ormsby and his coaching staff over the last couple of years.
Yeah, Pete's doing a great job for us. This year I threw more on his plate with adding indoor track on the men's and women's side. So he coaches 6 sports for us. He won our first men's cross-country championship in our Peach Belt history. So just a great catalyst for future successes in recruiting and being able to parlay that into hosting the track championships this year. It's going to be a great chance to put on display all the hard work that he's put in with his staff.
Another program that has been a consistent winner for UNCP has been the wrestling program, which is placed among the top 20 at the national tournament for 7 straight years now and has consistently scored points in the Learfield Sports Directors Cup standings.
Yeah, wrestling is one of our benchmark sports. Coach OT just does a fantastic job. He's got a big roster. He's light on staff, but he finds a way to really develop a great relationship and great rapport with his student athletes, and they respond. We get a lot out of our kids from a performance standpoint. In addition to having a national runner-up and being 20th in the country this year, his team was actually ranked 8th in the country academically from a starting lineup perspective. So really proud of what they're doing. That's an area where we really need to grow from a facility perspective and trying to help put more resources at their fingertips because I think we're just scratching the surface of how competitive we can be nationally.
It's time to take our last break on the Black and Gold Report, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. I'm here once again with UNCP Director of Athletics, Dick Christie. Baseball coach Paul O'Neill won his 500th game as a coach of the Braves with a rout of Catawba a few weeks ago. In your experience in athletic administration, what is the recipe for a coach to be successful And do you see some of those qualities in Coach O'Neill?
Paul O'Neill is probably, if you could cookie cutter what he's got from a work ethic standpoint, from just refusing to take anything less than excellence, and how diligent he is in every facet of the program, recruiting, developing talent, scheduling strategically. Paul is a gem, and really happy that, number one, 500 wins in one place is tough to do regardless of the sport, so kudos to him. And then the fact that it was able to happen at UNCP and happen in a home game against a team that played for the national championship last year was really, really special. The team has been playing very well, and to do that at home and let those guys be a part of kind of the ceremony we did post-game was touching. Paul won't admit that it was touching, but it was a great event. No, Coach O'Neill, he has done more for baseball at this place than I think a lot of people could argue in any program around the country.
UNCP's athletic facilities have undergone a slew of changes under your watch, most notably an expansion of the main grandstand at Grace P. Johnson Stadium, as well as a facelift of the playing surface inside the English E. Jones Center. What kind of improvements are on the docket over the next year or so?
It's a good question. We're working on some smaller facility projects, some repair and renovation, and honestly, we're in a great place from a square footage standpoint and just available facilities to our teams. So some things are just aesthetic, some things are facelifts. We are looking forward to the capital campaign that we're going to work on as a university probably over the next 18 months to get that cranked up, and there will be some bigger facility projects there, some needs at baseball and softball, trying to enhance some things at soccer. But to be able to start with the football expansion and really work on some recruiting needs from a locker room and graphics perspective here in our main facility in the Jones Center, it's been a great kickstart. There's a lot of good energy from that. The student athletes feel the impact, and I think when donors come in and see that progress, that it's something that they want to be a part of too, because they know what a difference it can make for our teams.
Speaking of Grace P. Johnson Stadium, UNCP will host the Peach Belt Conference Track and Field Championships from April 21st through the 23rd at that facility. It will be the second straight year UNCP has played host to one of the league's championship events after hosting the basketball Final Four last season. What kind of planning goes into hosting something like that, and what kind of prestige does it offer the department?
The willingness to host, to me, the big upside is just giving your student athletes a chance to compete for a championship at home. That home field, home court, home track advantage that you get to provide them is well worth all the logistics and the work that goes in. We have Joey Hannett, our assistant AD for athletic performance, is serving as tournament manager, and he's already put in months and months of work to make sure that the track and field championships are going to be a success. We're fortunate in the sense that we're the only football program in the Peach Belt. So having our track facility at a field where there's that much seating, there's that much infrastructure, there's that good of a facility set up, I think it's going to provide a great championship experience for all of the student athletes coming from around the league.
What are some of the things you would like to see this department accomplish over the next couple of years as it pertains to your long-term goals for UNCP athletics?
Yeah, we're going to keep grinding at it from a revenue standpoint, and keep trying to put more resources at the fingertips of our coaches. We're seeing too many positive outcomes in recruiting and on the fields, not to be really optimistic about the future. Last year we had our best finish in the Peach Belt Commissioner's Cup in our history. So, being able to parlay that success and try and use that momentum as we go forward is going to be big. We've said from day one, we're trying to provide a championship experience for all of our student athletes. So as we continue to put these resources in play, I think we're going to see that on a more consistent basis. So I think the sky's the limit. We're obviously, you're never there quick enough. I'm a little impatient, but really excited about where we're heading and what all the coaches are doing.
Director of Athletics Dick Christie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Cameron. Appreciate it.
That's all the time we have for this week's Black and Gold Report. Until next week, go Braves.